I wonder how that would have gone if we had success. We were pretty close. I think if we didn't have an opening hand of dice that was all ones, and if we didn't, because I feel like with that extra die on the second and third day or cycle, because like we're only like 4 pips away. Like it was so close. Not to mention, I mean, this permanent glitch dice is basically a effectively -1. But anyway, you limp back to Olivera, the mood in the rig one of deep exhaustion. But as the colony appears, hold on. I need them to chill outside. All right, I'm trying to fucking yap here. All right, people can just cool it with the sirens. You limp back to Olivera, the mood in the rig one of deep exhaustion. But as the colony appears, visible from the cockpit, the satisfaction of having run a terrifying gauntlet and come back in one piece shifts the mood. The crew's improved mood only becomes more obvious as you draw closer to Olivera. As you come into dock with the colony, you feel a wave of relief. Serpent pats you on the shoulder as you both wait for the airlock to open. That hunter, he sighs. Essenarp is crueler than I could have imagined. Doesn't surprise me. It's a nasty logic. Send a sleeper to catch a sleeper. Serpent shakes his head. Glad we bought Flint some freedom. The airlock hisses open, revealing the docking bridge where Xander first confronted you. This time, another, more substantial figure awaits in the passage. You're the ones I should be thanking for saving my life. Herman leads against the side of the tunnel, one arm clamped against his waist. So, thank you. He nods at the two of you. Happy to help. Herman smiles. I have a feeling there might be more to your arrival than just a friendly traveler offering a helping hand. I've interacted with protagonists before. This feels like a main character situation. Carmen. Cadence rushes past the two of you, gliding into Carmen with an embrace strong enough to leave the injured man off balance. All right, careful. Don't want to put me back in the med bay now, do you? Carmen pushes Cadence back with a gentle grip on her shoulders. He flinches as he does, his joke clearly holding some truth. Sorry, Cadence smiles. Just glad to see you up. Ground crosses Carmen's face. Where's Xander? Also, I just noticed is these little circles on his body. If I remember correctly, these are scar. There was a company who was raising people. They would install, physically, surgically install exoskeleton suits onto their bodies so they could lift more stuff. And then they canceled the project, and then everyone who underwent the surgery has suffered from bone issues and such ever since. And if I remember correctly, that's what these circle scars are indicative of. Losing your vision, old man. You look back to see Xander and Flint beyond you in the tunnel. Xander smiles widely at Carmen, betraying his happiness to see him. I'll be just fine, Zan. Carmen's words are confident, but his tone suggests he isn't convinced. You notice his hands are tightly balled into fists, as if resisting pain, and wonder if he should really be up at all. Carmen turns to look at you and Seraphin. I think we need to talk. How about you two and Flint accompany me to the med bay? Carmen winks. Flint pushes past you both and goes to Carmen, helping him out of the tunnel. As he does, they exchange a few words. You're too far away to make them out. You and Seraphin exchange glances and follow behind them into Olivera. Carmen leads you to a small recovery chamber in the med bay, where his bed is set up. A handful of tubes and wires float gently beside it, attached to boxy devices. Flint has already left the group, leaving just you and Seraphin with Olivera's injured flounder. Carmen meets your eye with a hard look. So, how did you two end up stumbling into our colony out in the shoals? He raises an eyebrow. They're not usually open to visitors. Ankita sent us to you. You see the flicker of recognition in Carmen's eyes when you mention Ankita. You produce a thumbnail drive, holding it out for Carmen to inspect. She told Sleeper to deliver this to you, and you alone. Seraphin folds his arms. Carmen pauses thoughtfully. That's a name I have not heard for a while. He takes the drive. Seems I should thank you again. He sighs. Perhaps I owe you some explanation myself. Nikita and I used to work together a lifetime ago. Carmen shakes his head. We went our separate ways. Then she turned back up in Olivera. I established this colony as a refuge. Way of starting again. Carmen clasps his hands together. The belt is changing, and I am afraid of what's coming. Nikita took refuge here for a short while. In one cycle she was gone. Carmen shrugs. It's not unusual for her. Each of us has our own demons. He holds up the drive. Take a look at what's on here when I'm able. He looks at the drive with concern. I'll let you know what I find. You and Seraphin thank him and leave the chamber as he settles back on his recovery bed. As you leave, Flint catches your attention. Can we speak? Seraphin pauses. I'll catch you back on the rig. He looks between the two of you and then glides away. Flint hovers, a look of concern on his mask-like face. What do you need? Flint gives you a curious look. You don't remember any of it, do you? Any of what? Of how you got here. Of your history. Flint screws up their face in a pained expression. At first, I thought you were hiding something, or you were intentionally avoiding the subject. So I waited. But I understand it now. You don't remember me at all. We were here before? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh fuck, our memories. What happened to the reboot? Lane, our memories got fucked. Tell us, what happened? What did we do? You take a moment to think. Try to recall Flint. You furrow your bow? You transform into a ship and furrow your bow. Your brow in frustration, sifting through the hazy memories of Darkside and further back of your arrival to the belt. You close your eyes and see the faces of other sleepers, panicked, desperate, in darkness. I don't remember. We worked together in the same SNR mining installation, along with the other sleepers. He searches your eyes for a spark of recognition. We weren't close. Not sure we really spoke. Very few of us did. But I was there when we planned the escape together. The run to the freighter, collapsing the mineshaft. Flint stops, struggling to continue in the face of a blank look you're giving them. You feel an unpleasant itch, as if something is crawling around inside your skull. You can see that Flint wants you to recall them, to recall the escape, the installation, but find only hazy sensations, and beneath them, pain. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Flint looks down. I know you can't help it. I just needed to say something, to know if you really don't remember. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and for Olivera. Flint turns and drifts away dejectedly, unable to continue. As you watch Flint go, you scratch the side of your head, trying to find something in the way they move, the way they speak, their mask-like face, a face that was identical to yours when it was first cast, but that, over the cycle after cycle of wear and damage, has been transformed. Two machines so close in form and function, estranged by experience. That feels like a bug. Maybe I should report that as a bug. Because it was 0. I visited it. It gets a 1. Which makes me wonder if I've accidentally caused that to happen with some of my negative timers as well. All right. We need supplies. We need to repair. And let's not do anything else. Thanks for coming up, Sleeper. Carmen is waiting for you and Seraphin when you arrive at the med bay, looking a lot fresher. He leads you into a small alcove, set up like an office, with an aging terminal and a simple welded desk, and a small window looking out across the dusty rock of Olivera. Got some news for us? Seraphin asks, impatiently. Since you arrived back from the manufactuary, he has been restless, and you aren't sure why. Not to worry. Carmen grins slightly. I think you'll want to hear this. He hits a key on the terminal, and a file browser appears on the screen, showing hundreds of individual pieces of data. And Kita's been busy. Carmen gestures to the screen. He's been scraping Itsubo communications cycle after cycle. Got access to ciphers and encryption that only the gang's leadership should be able to see. He smiles. Seems she's learned some tricks since we worked together. That's not what matters. What matters is the content of these messages. He taps a few keys and loads some of the data, which scrolls down the screen. Some parts of Itsubo leadership have been getting ideas. Ideas about taking Greenbelt, controlling food production in the belt, about exerting power over Wellspring. Big ideas for a gang. These Itsubo members aren't alone. They've found themselves a powerful ally. Herman shakes his head. Senate stat. Those fuckers. This is literally... Oh my god. Oh, we're getting Contrad. We're getting fucking Contrad. Oh my god, the fucking Corpo is arming a local sympathetic gang. I can't believe it. History doesn't repeat itself, but boy howdy does it fucking rhyme. Senate stat. One of the two corporations fighting a bitter battle for control of the inner system. A pernicious force, one that Itsubo are opening a door for in the belt. You can't be serious. Seraphin cuts in. It can't be that stupid. I don't know what to tell you. At least someone inside Itsubo is trying to broker a partnership. Who? Seraphin leans over to look at the screen. You don't need Carmen's answer, and neither does Seraphin. Lane. Seraphin looks to you, shaking his head. It has to be Lane. Shark-sided. It has to be shark-sided. I know that. I know that blue text anywhere. Showing up over there. Hi. 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 How are the sharks this side of the day? This side of the week, even? Hello, hello, hello. Whee! Where's my shark button? I'm just spinning happy whenever I see that shark show up. Or Sunny. I guess the Sunny's here too, because you got the little Sunny goober face. I need to hop into VR more. It's just frustrating because all the VR meetup days, y'all are always planning them on Fridays and Saturdays, and they're always days that I already stream, and I just like I have to keep to my habits because I know if I break once, it becomes too easy for me to keep breaking it. So it's just like I need I'm no astrologist, but I need the stars to align so I can hang out and vibe. Cause I want to hang out with people in VR more. I'm like a VR baby because I got all this, I got stuffs, but I wanna do more things, but I don't know where to do things. And so it's like I've greebled a bunch of random stuff together. Well, it's like, I know this is fun to hang out with people. It's fun to do bad karaoke because boy howdy will I try to sing. But I fucking can't. I couldn't hit a pitch if it was T-ball. But back to the citizen's sleeper where the plot thickens. The proof is in the pudding, so therefore it's useless. Lane. Seraphin looks at you, shaking his head. It has to be Lane. Carmen looks between you both. Seems like you already know something I don't. Lane is a piece of shit Itsubo leader who thinks he owns us. Seraphin shakes his head. Exactly the kind of piece of shit arrogant enough to try and manipulate Senate stat. Carmen nods thoughtfully. My condolences. Starting to see how you cross paths with Nkita. Why is Nkita telling you this? Like I said, Nkita and I used to work together. Put it simply, we ran in the same mercenary outfit. Carmen looks away. A lot has happened since then. But this message, this data, it's her calling in a favor. And I owe her. That's for sure. Carmen shakes his head and pushes himself off from the desk, crossing the room to look out of the window at Olivera's pale and airless surface. Hell. Out of what went down, I owe you both too. You look at Carmen, staring out at the surface of this hostile rock. I wonder what he sees out there. He established the colony as a fallback, a retreat. Not just for him, for others too. You get the feeling that Carmen knows any retreat is only ever temporary. He turns back to look at you. And you, Sleeper? What will you do? Oh, we're fucking taking on the Yutsubo. Bad dice rolls and broken dice don't mean nothing to me. I'm gonna fucking fist fight them. Bring them on! Take on a gang? Carmen smiles. You sure about that? We're gonna end Lane, whatever it takes. Seraphin stares down Carmen, fists balled. Carmen looks at you. That one's gonna get you in trouble. He turns to Seraphin. But I like that energy. He looks back out the window. This is not something we're going to take head on. He shakes his head. Nkita sent us our weapon. Carmen turns and gestures at the console screen, with its reams of incriminating data. Yutsubo don't control all of Darkside. They only aspire to. They also claim to offer protection from the war between Senate and Conway. That presents us with an opportunity. Yutsubo is full of members who'd rather die than concede Darkside to a corporate interest. To play this right, Yutsubo will end Lane for us. He smiles to Seraphin. To use your phrase. We leak the data? Not leak. Carmen frowns. This is delicate, tricky. A lot of ways this can play out badly for all of us. We can handle it. We've cracked Darkside once. We can do it again. Seraphin's confidence is infectious, but also incredibly misplaced, because we didn't crack Darkside, we got immediately found out, and almost recaptured, and everything almost went to absolute shit. Is that right? Carmen seems to be thinking something through. He crosses to the console, back to the window, and then to the console once more. Alright, gonna need some time. I can put this together. Carmen nods at Seraphin. We'll need that energy. You also need to be ready. You rush this? Not ending well. So, I can wait. Carmen turns his attention to you. We'll go from the Greenbelt when you're ready. I have friends there who can help get that ship of yours into Darkside. Seraphin looks at you. We have our own preparations to make. We'll be ready. Alright. Carmen unplugs Nkita's drive and hands it to you. Take this. Get out of here. I don't want anyone finding this thing in my possession. You take it, the tiny drive, somehow heavier, now that you know it contains the key to exposing Lane. See you in Greenbelt. Now see you in the Wheat Sheaf. Carmen smiles to himself. They know me there. Just understand something. Carmen's expression turns serious. You want my help on this? There's no way we can let it get back to the colony. Once you leave here, you are not coming back to Olivera. Not until we are done. He meets your eye. He needs confirmation that you recognize the importance of this. We'll leave this cycle. Carmen nods. Good. He goes back to the window to stare at whatever it is he sees out there among the dusty rocks. When you come back to the rig, Flint is waiting for you. Leaning by the... Go away, objectives. Flint is waiting for you, leaning by the docking tunnel with a bag over their shoulder. They look up as you approach. Hey. Flint nods a greeting, appearing a little unsure. Hey. I know you've already done a lot for me, so I'm not going to push you or ask for your pity. They pause. You feel like they've been preparing this speech. Firstly, I owe you. I want to pay you back. I can work and I can fight, and I will protect the ship and crew with everything I have. Secondly, we come from the same place. Whether you remember it or not, that means something. It must. I know I'm not the easiest to get on with. I know you might have your reservations about having another sleeper on ship, but I'm eager. I'm ready. I want to move on, and I want to show my value. They pause. And, well, yeah, I think that's it. You look at Flint. Their frame so much more damaged than yours, but with a fire burning in their eyes that makes them seem bigger than they are. Welcome aboard. Let's go fuck them up. A smile spreads across Flint's face, and they look down to hide it. Thank you, they say to the floor. This'll work out. You'll see. Flint nods to you once more, then turns and glides down the docking tunnel towards the ship. As they do, two figures at the edge of the docking concourse catch your eye. You pause to look, shifting a little, and as you do, you recognize Cadence leaning in. Some words are exchanged, ones you can only guess at, and then the other figure embraces Cadence and turns back to the ship. As Serpent approaches, he ducks his head, passing quietly past you into the docking tunnel without a word. Take one last look at the docks. The Cadence is gone. You idle a moment longer. I feel there's something, some presence, even in these empty bays. Something rare in all the belt that Olivera has captured. But, as with all things, you must learn to leave it behind. Hell yeah. Let's get +2 into it. I think next we'll do... Maybe +1. Maybe work on the +1s for engineer and engage. Nah. We'll work on getting +2 engineer, I think. Okay. This has kind of been one consistent thing that's really bugged me. And again, we can go in a lot of different places, and I feel like I've run into a couple bugs. But we have 0 crew members that give us endure. And I feel like we're very much halfway or more through this game. And we have 3 engineers. We've got 2 hackers. This is silly. This is silly. It feels like you really should play a sleeper with endure as their primary stat. I can't remember which class it was. But I especially feel like the hacker one is the most punished because I cannot do anything about endure. I feel like you should have you should be able to have a rounded crew fairly early on. Maybe not someone Junie tier where they have like a +1 in a stat, but having someone that's trained in each of the 5 stats, which is covered by 3 people, and you'll have like 1 overlap, is very possible. I don't know. Let's see. Might as well as get some fuel. Why not? And then see if we can get some supplies. Actually, we haven't fed the cat in a while. Let's feed the Kipti. Adorable. Ow. -2 energy. Love it. +1 supplies. We take those. Amazing. All right. Now. Okay. So let's go to Hollow, Greenbelt, get that fixed. Helion Gate, Spindle, finish that quest. I believe it's Flotsam. We can buy engine components. We can get that fixed. And once we have the engine components, we need to get the array from Holm's Rock. I guess we go Holm's Rock and then Spindle. Okay. First to the Hollow. We'll restock, resupply, and then yeet from there. Refuel. Get some food. Get some credits. That gives me 13, and this gives me also 13. Might as well as do the one that gives me +2. Lame. Okay, now we need to hit Greenbelt. We can finally pick up those damn spores. All right, let's talk our way in. Fabricate a reason. Ow. Give me that Greenbelt access, dang it. Hell yeah. Alright, we just need one more. Buy the spores. Refuel. We'll call it a day. You find yourself in the cockpit, alone with Flint. They have a habit of entering a room so silently that you don't notice them arrive, or the reverse. Leaving so silently, you turn around and find them gone. Right now, they hover expectantly at the corner of your vision, preparing to speak. Do you ever think about your original? The way they ask the question, you can tell they have been eager to ask it for a while. The person who you are emulated from. I mean, the person who sold you to SNARP. Flint's expression doesn't betray any emotion, but you feel like you can detect some unknowable feeling whirling behind their eyes. Sometimes, I can't stop thinking about them, about who they were, and if who I am has anything to do with them. Flint looks away. Is my personality a product of being a sleeper, or simply a copy of theirs? Have I changed, or am I still identical to them? Does the emulation process, the loss of memory, the insertion into a frame, actually make us totally different people? What came through the process of emulation, and what was blocked? Flint is looking around the cockpit rapidly now, her eyes flickering from object to object as they speak. Are there memories still inside me, but cut off, concealed? And if I admit it, I wonder if I even know what it feels like to be a person. Do the humans around me feel the things I feel? Or do they feel more, feel less, feel somehow differently? Do they feel the creeping claustrophobia of being trapped inside a body, with no escape? Flint's eyes flick back to you. Or do only we know how that truly feels? Hey, how about you go talk to Bliss about that? I think they would have some very enlightening things to talk to you on that subject. You should ask a human. I'm asking you because I've never had the chance to ask another sleeper these things, to know if how I feel is something that could be shared. Share your experiences. There is a wall in you, one you have built up for yourself, one that separates the kind of questions Flint is asking from the parts of you that you need to live. You feel it now, like a weight in your chest. Behind, there is a raging torrent pressing against it. You cannot take down the wall. You would drown. But in this moment, for Flint and for yourself, you take out a single brick. You make a gap in the wall, and you share what comes bursting forth. You talk about what it feels like to wake up in a dying body, to catch a glance of yourself in a mirror, to be seen and reminded of your false and fractured face. You share the pain of lost memories, of fleeting deja vu, of dreams that slip beneath your waking life and replace it. You find in your broken bodies and unsteady minds a kind of solidarity, one shared between connected strangers who might, one cycle, understand each other as friends. As you put the brick back in and shore up your defenses, you know that cycle will not be this one, but its distant possibility is a reassuring one. All right. Let's dock the Greenbelt. The Greenbelt buzzes with focused activity. The passage is full at shift change, then empty once the work begins. It's a place that runs on its own schedule, but comfortably so. That comfort bought by being one of the largest food producers in the belt. There's always work in these fields, protected by a thick skin of transparent layers, and you can see why the humble life it offers has captured more than a few of the belt's iterant workers. Sleeper? The voice, soft but forceful, takes you by surprise. Aki! Ah! Hell yeah! One of the flotilla people in the first game! I like Taki. As you turn, you are met with a delicate face, wearing a confused expression. Apologies. I mistook you for someone else. She covers her embarrassment with a smile. I'm Aki. What brings you to the Greenbelt, friend? Just looking. Aki nods gently. Well, we aren't usually open to spectators, but I'll make an exception. She clasps her hands together. Come with me. Aki leads you through a series of doors, gliding down into passages cut into the rock. then up, following pipes into metal passages that cross the fields themselves. She stops on a bridge overlooking the soft curve of farmland that makes up one of the asteroid's two biospheres. Below, leaves flap in zero-G, waves spreading out across a sea of green. Wait, if it's zero gravity, how are the plants oxygenating? Do they have like a fan pointed at them blowing air at them? Curious. The varieties we farm here are specially selected and customized for microgravity. She puts her hands on the railings at the edge of the bridge. We feed them from beneath, irrigating and nourishing them through the very medium they grow within. The light of Helion helps us with this, of course. She squints through the transparent roof at the distant, pale sun. Where are these plants from? Solheim left us many things, including a few seed vaults filled with their own engineered microgravity crops. She turns to face you. Then there are the stacks found across the belt. Self-contained microfarms. We have been able to propagate crops from them in some cases. But how about you? Aki's sharp eyes take in your expression. Could you contribute to such a place? A green and growing strip in the gray belt? Sure. Aki smiles. Feel free to take a shift below anytime you wish. I will tell the others to expect you. The plants, they have a kind of peace, an eternal quality that makes them seem less fragile than they are. Aki sighs. This place, like any other in the belt, has its pressures. It is for me to navigate them. He looks away, frowning at something in the distance. I must attend to those pressures. Excuse me. I am glad our paths crossed. She bows a shallow bow. I hope they do again. And with that, Aki leaves you to look over the sea of gently waving green, an impossibly beautiful, impossibly fragile glass case of growing things. Okay, but wait. I know there were stabilizer plants, or plants put on the flotilla that could be refined into stabilizer. We have a sleeper dependent on stabilizer. Can we make them some? Okay, we need to work the fields. Go ahead and do some of this. We'll need to come back here later anyway. Alright, let's feed the cat. Stray is part of the crew now, but she still likes to spend time in her little nest in the supply store. Supply Officer Kipti! You put supplies into the special feeder Bliss set up. The stray purrs and rubs against your side as she glides over to eat. Adorable. Okay. So from here, we go to Helion Gate. We've got a message, sleeper. Serpent comes to the bunks to get you, his mood unusually serious. He brings you to the cockpit, his keepsake coin in his hand the whole time, spinning between his fingers. Seraphin is worried. Once you're in the cockpit, you recognize Carmen's voice immediately, playing over the rigged speakers. Sleeper! I hope this message finds you and your crew safely. You'll forgive me if I'm a little tight on details. My message is as follows. We are ready. We will be awaiting where we agreed. Godspeed. The message ends with a click. So, Seraphin takes a deep breath. They're waiting in the Greenbelt. The wheat chief, he said, or whatever that is. You ready for this? No, I still got some side quests. We gotta prepare. Seraphin nods. No point in rushing this. We have one shot. Quiet falls in the cockpit. There doesn't seem to be much more to say. Carmen will be waiting, but you know he'll want you to be prepared. Ready when you are, sleeper. Seraphin nods to you. You nod back. You know where you need to go to end this. Okay, now we need fuel, unfortunately. I'll just use all my dice. Lame. Lame. We're good on supplies. I don't think we need to get data scraping. Okay, we need to go Holm's Rock. Get that old relay. Disengage systems. I would like to refresh my dice, which is kind of why I'm racking up stress at the moment. Figure we get up to like 2 stress and then just let it ride. There we go. I'll just buy some food. Wrong one. Food. Also go ahead and buy fuel. The rig. And our cycle. Alright, alright, alright. Finish taking this relay off. Good shit. Fabricator is DED dead. Might as well get a bit of money. Oops. Okay. I need to go to Spindle to deliver the supply, deliver the spores. You remembered us. Number appears at the loading dock, slate in hand, as you load the crates into the back of the kitchen. I'm a little surprised. You look at the chef. He looks tired. Those sharp eyes haven't dulled in the time between your meetings. Didn't believe me? Happy to surprise you. Well, not that surprised. He smiles. But it's still a pleasant feeling. Nemba glides over to a crate to take a look. He squints at the crumbled corners and bent lids. Not in great condition, though. How long have these been bouncing around in your hold? Like, they were like that already. Now, that I can believe. They didn't bother to bring them to the right station, after all. I have a place picked out in one of the bays to cultivate these. Warm, damp, near the air recyclers. He pushes one of the crates gently into the kitchen. Shouldn't take long before we have mushrooms to cook. You follow Nemba into the kitchen, remembering your shifts working there. They were long, but the company was good. And as with all things, the difficulties have faded with time, leaving a golden sheen behind. Nemba seems to catch the way you're looking at the kitchen. Much as the same before, I'm sure you notice, but twice as oversubscribed. Each cycle, more refugees come out of the inner system. The war isn't going anywhere. Nemba pushes the crate into a storage rack and pulls the netting across it. They disperse across the belt, of course, but many don't make it much further than the overhang, especially if they can't work. Not just food either. You need blankets, housing. Nemba suddenly pauses. He shoots you a look over his glasses. Tell me, what was the Greenbelt? Green? Helpful. Nemba raises an eyebrow. I heard it was organized as a cooperative, all the workers sharing in the trade of their goods, but no chits exchanged, only resources for the colony. Nemba watches you closely. Yeah, that's about right. I mention it because, well, it might be the kind of place to offer aid to the people here. Nemba sighs. I regret being mercenary, but waiting for benevolent helpers doesn't work. Apart from present exceptions, of course. Sure, I can talk to them. Worth a shot. Nemba looks you in the eye. But you need their trust first. Earn that, then talk. You have a feeling Nemba was waiting for your suggestion. Here. He takes one of the crates of the spores. I'm sure they could use these. Take them as a gift. He pushes it to you. But don't begin with the spores. Begin by understanding what they need from you. Trust me. You have a feeling Nemba is good at getting what he wants. Meanwhile, I have meal prep to begin. He takes a deep breath. Thank you for the spores. Really. I would keep asking for help. You have to forgive me for that. Does it mean I don't understand what you are giving? Now get out of here. Nemba waves you away with your crate of packed spores. His expression somehow both withering and encouraging at the same time. Neat. Alright, we just need to finish breaking our die. Let's process this raw scrap. As we notice, this can be sold for a pretty penny. Plus, we get a little bit of money from here, too. And we do need to... I don't know how much the engine components cost, but we do need to finish getting some for our... we're gonna need to buy 4. Probably gonna cost, like, 30 each, maybe. Get our fuel. Let's feed the cat. And let's interpret signals. Get some of that money, 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 baby. Hell yeah. All right, we are a high roller, baby. Went one more cycle here. All right, let's go ahead and get food, and then we will fly on. Mmm, delicious kelp cakes. Yum, yum, yum. I'm wary of spending too much time in one place, because every time we've done that, we've gotten permanent glitches, and I don't want to deal with that. All right, now we need to go to Flotsam, right? Yeah, we'll have to go to Flotsam. It's you. A familiar voice echoes down the tunnel behind you. Wait, they got out too? Holy shit, it's been so long since we've seen them. You turn in the passage to see Femi towering over you. He shakes his head. God, I don't remember what voice I was giving him. Fuck! This just keeps getting better. It's been a while, Femi. What's up? Take a guess. He frowns and glances over his shoulder. Remember Nia? That sister of mine you thought you'd take on a contract? Well, she's taken some inspiration from your little trip. You can see anger burning in Femi's eyes. There's a tiredness there, too. He folds his arms across his broad chest. Simple Crash has been in repair since we got out of Hexport. Caught in that whole mess. Femi sighs. So then, stuck here, gets bored and decides to sign up with another crew. Take a job. I said no, and she went anyway. Femi glares at you. What's that to do with me? Nice attitude. Femi shakes his head. I asked around. Turns out Nia signed on with some idiots heading to Cutter's End. Femi says the name with emphasis you can't place. They're as green as you, meaning they have no idea what they're going out to a place like that. So you, Femi jabs your chest with a finger, are going to take me out there to go get her. I'll show you the way. She knows what she's doing. Even if she does, crew she's with sure as hell don't. Femi frowns. We're not leaving it to chance. Look, I know how these things go. I've got chits I can pay. Femi grimaces. Can't pay for the parts to fix the Simple Crash needs when no one sells them anyway. 250 cryo. Femi folds his arms across his chest. No bargaining. In the meantime, I'm going to try to get the Simple Crash ready to make the run herself. He sighs. The shape she's in, not the best idea to head out there alone. You suddenly see the desperation in his eyes. He'd risk everything for Nia. I'll be waiting. We need to head out there soon. Femi grips your shoulder. Don't test my patience. Femi kicks off and glides back to the passage towards the ship. Don't even think about skipping out of Flotsam without me, he calls back to you. Then we're really done. All right, 4 cycles. All right, I got 4 cycles to finish breaking my dice and then clear my stress. Great. Cool. Amazing. Awesome. All right, engine components are 50 a pop. I see. Ow. Ow. All right. Feed the cat. Upgrade our engine. Oh, +5 fuel capacity. That is kind of nice. All right. We need to work, but we need to do work that tanks our energy. Which I guess is just the hydroponics then. Oh, it gives energy though. Fuck. We're in a hilarious situation where I need to fuck up, but I may not be able to. Okay, it looks like maybe we only get energy if it's a positive outcome. So as long as I can force neutral or negative, we're good. Not what I meant to go to. Right, end cycle. Low dice. Damn it. All right, let's set them to scavenging fuel. And hopefully we can keep getting negative results. Fuck. Oh, I'm so cooked. There is 0 chance I can tank my stuff. All right. This has now become a fix our stress situation. All right, we get a second one broken. Good, good. Yay, raw scrap? Question mark. Cool, cool. End cycle. Okay. Let's fix our stress. Perfect. Repair ourselves. Good shit, good shit. And now we go on that mission. Cutter's End. All right. I swear to fuck, if this is the engage crew member we've been missing this whole time, I'm going to be so salty. I'm good at Intuit. I wish I could look at my stats real quick. I feel like we'd take Flint or Cadet. We'll take Flint. Confirm. What's happening out there? Femi is up and out of his seat the moment Seraphin brings the rig to rest near the asteroid known as Cutter's End. That ominous name is one whose origin has become increasingly obvious as you approached through the thick cloud of debris and chunks of rock, among which corroded remains of wrecks could be seen floating. Now, as you look out on the splintered and terraced rock, you can't help but feel a slowly growing sense of dread. Look, there! Femi comes close to the cockpit glass and points to the terraced quarry cut into the rock. The mine's awake! You look out and see flickering lights, the glowing dock markers. Femi shakes his head. That's not right. That ain't right. Neither is that. Seraphin nods towards the asteroid. You see a ship now, tucked into the shadow of the rock, flashing its signal lights at you. Guessing that's the crew we're looking for? Visitors, huh? The voice wavers weakly as it comes through the ship's comms. You lot friendly? Seraphin glances back at you, raising his eyebrows. Is it long before you and Femi are suiting up? An agreement having been made between Seraphin and the pilot of the other ship, a man called Baird, to meet on the neutral ground of open space. Femi is silent, his anger evident in the way he forces his legs into the trousers of his suit. And then you are out, the vast shape of Cutter's End flickering with strange lights below you. The pinpricks of the pilot's suit light slowly coming closer ahead. You two are soft as all rise. You see a crooked grin from Baird, framed in the hard lines of his ramshackle suit. What brings you out to the asshole of the starboard belt? His sharp eyes scan you and Femi, checking your suits and gear. We're looking for someone. Baird's eyes flick to you. You notice a familiar reaction across his face. The acknowledgement that he recognizes you as a sleeper. You don't look like bounty hunters. Baird glances between the two of you, and then smiles his crooked smile. Well, he kinda does. He nods at Femi. You brought a freelancer out here, Femi interrupts, his voice flat and direct over the comms channel. Nia, where is she? Baird pauses, considering his answer. Oh, cruise down the throat of that thing. He jerks a thumb towards the asteroid. You're welcome to wait. The tone of his voice suggests the opposite. I'll have you know we look after our crew. If you're here to settle a debt, I'm here to take her home. Femi cuts him off, and I'm not waiting. Thing is, big man, Baird grins. They are deep in the quarry on a tip-off. So, unless you want to go chasing them around the dark maze of that place, you're shit out of luck. How long have they been? Baird looks over at the flickering quarry, as if he forgot it was there. He looks back at you. 2 cycles. He shrugs. Enough! Femi cuts in again. Nia's been gone for a lot longer than that. You're lying to our faces. Femi moves closer to Baird, and we know that rock has claimed more crews than any other. Baird's smile fades. No need for accusations. Who's to say you aren't trying to jump our claim? Forget this! Femi turns and heads back towards the ship. Baird smiles at you. Big man seems touchy. He squints at the rig. Gonna get you in trouble. Baird retreats to his ship, and you to yours. We need to go in. Femi is impatiently gathering tools and loading them into the airlock. Right now. What's our approach? What matters is our ingress. Femi grabs a cutting torch from the rack. There's a borehole on this side of the rock. Could get us in under the radar. Or we dive right down the main shaft. Femi meets your eyes. I'll leave the call to you. Flint arrives at the airlock. I don't like this. They look at you. Why has an old mine suddenly jumped back to life? We don't know the full story here. You get ready to depart, well aware that you are heading into a situation you don't quite understand. No bonuses there. Borehole seems like we could do better. Do have a high roll opening hand though. What if we just go down the throat? Ate part of a rock there. No, don't eat the rock. It's not healthy. It's banned for you. Also, hi, Ice. I hope you're doing well this evening. It's always great seeing you around. I mean, I could risk it for the biscuit. Nah, I don't want to accidentally build up my stress. We'll take it slow. Ate a full pizza? No, not an entire pizza. I hope you had a good Eevee Skiji. We'll burn his 6. You felt the rumbling growing as you descended into Cutter's End, but no one has wanted to bring attention to it. Now, floating in a cavernous rock-walled passage is impossible to ignore. There's something in the dark. Flint's voice crackles over the comms. Something that's been here a long time. You squint down the tunnel, beyond the limits of your suit's lights. You swear you see something flicker there, in the unseen passages beyond. There's a strangeness to this mine, to its flashing lights and empty conveyors, running on some residual power. From what Femi has told you, it wasn't always like this. Cutter's End had a fearsome reputation as a dark and deadly maze, a ripped open rock not worth the trouble of its corroded salvage. Now it's a moving maze, its automated systems given a new, faltering life, brought back from hundreds of cycles in the shadows. One of those systems is rumbling through the dark ahead. Let's keep moving. Femi passes you in the passage. You don't need to wait. Take it slow, Femi. Slow is fast. We're too far behind. We need to catch up. Femi glides ahead, the beams of his suit's lights painting the rock walls of the cavern a pale gray. Femi's lights reveal an intersection, another tunnel cutting across this one, offering 3 routes ahead. Suddenly, you're blinded by a wall of light beyond the intersection. The rumble is everywhere, shaking dust and rock off the walls in dense clouds. Squinting into the light, you see a ring of lamps, and between them, the grinding maw of some terrible machine. It bears down on the crew, grinding through the debris. Find an escape. You shield your eyes and scan the walls around you. There, revealed in the powerful lamps of the mining machine, you see a small square passage cut into the rock. Signaling the others, you dodge inside, gliding into the safety of the dark passage. A moment later, the machine rumbles past the entrance, spitting a hail of debris into the tunnel. You don't stop. Carried forward by the tide of rock, you emerge into another cavern. You good? Femi's voice is broken up by gasps for air. You turn to see him staring into the dark, shaking his head. That machine. Flint stares off into the dark. It's a nightmare. We need to keep going. Femi is dusting off his suit. That mining machine must be keeping Nia's crew down here. We have to get past it. Keeping them down here, or your mind shifts to the worst option. Can any crew really hope to survive all this? When they woke up this place, they woke up that machine. Femi starts to move down the passage. Running on old programming. It's not hunting us. It's not smart. Femi turns back to face you, his eyes ringed with fatigue and stress. We could beat it. You hope he is right. Just beat it. Beat it. Don't make me repeat it. All right. Let's find a safe path. Nice, nice, nice. Wow! Thanks for the shit rolls, fucko. Alright. End cycle. Alright, we're high rolling. To me, sleeper. Femi beckons you over to a section of the cavern wall. You glide over and immediately spot what he has found. There's a large passage, splitting off from this one. And it's not the passage itself that is of interest. It's the remains of a barricade, freshly welded, that draws your attention. They came through here. Femi's eyes flick over the ruins. They tried to keep it out. You look at the fresh cuts in the wall, the stone gouged out, the crumpled metal bent and crushed. And almost tellingly, the flattened remains of a welding torch, embedded into the rock. The crew took a stand in this very place. You reach down and put a hand on the remains of the torch. Nia was here. Then you feel it, the rumble through the torch, through the rock wall. You look up at Femi and he sees it in your face. The machine is coming. Go! Femi meets your eye. Get safe. He looks over your shoulder, and suddenly, he's bathed in the blinding light of the machine's lamps. No, we stay together! You go to protest, but Femi kicks you in the chest, sending you spinning away, out of the path of the machine. By the time you catch yourself on the cavern wall and turn, you see Femi there, in the middle of the passage. The passage entrance, lit with white in the lamps. He waits, agonizingly long, until he knows the machine is coming for him, and then he kicks off hard and glides into the dark. The machine rumbles through in a hail of rock and dust, and you follow after it, batting away chunks of stone. You're slowed by the debris, and the machine pulls out ahead, rumbling endlessly onward, through the tunnels, through rock and metal, and then it's gone. The cavern shakes, filling with dust, your vision gray. Your comms click and hiss, and chunks of rock thunk off the faceplate of your helmet. And then you see them. A faint lights of Femi's suit as he struggles through the dust. We got it! Femi says as he reaches you, his hands on your shoulders. Somehow we got it. It takes some time to understand what happened. As the dust clears, you find yourselves at the lip of a shaft filled with debris. This huge pit, thick with shards of rock, must have been a refuse pit for the mine, a place to pump the tailings, the waste. The machine went straight into this shaft, spinning into the open space and debris, shredding itself against a million razor-sharp bits of rock. Looking down into the pit, your lamps illuminate a few pieces of the machine. The rest is surely down there. deep inside the dense debris cloud. It isn't long before Femi is calling you once again, this time to another, still complete barricade. A barricade over the door to a machine room, sealed and secure. The last retreat of the crew you followed into this nightmare. New location discovered. Sure, we can go in there, but what if we search the pit? I don't care about your stress. Damn. Do some coin flips. Damn. Coin flip. Hey! Two engine component. Okay, dude. Would have saved me some money. Alright, we will end our cycle and continue. Good shit. Push the stress. Hey, we got a 6. Nice. I should have used one more before doing that, so it rolled my glitch die. Fitty fitty. For 2080. Well, shit. Alright, one die broke. Not too bad, I hope. Hell yeah. As the barricaded door is bent open, you're blinded once again by a wall of light. You and Femi raise your hands instinctively, squinting into the lamps and dust. Feel a flash of fear in the pit of your stomach, bracing yourself for what's to come. Femi! Voice comes crisp and clear over the local comms. What are you doing here? Nia drifts out of the lights in an old, dust-caked suit. She looks between the two of you with a blank expression, blinking rapidly. Femi stares at her, frozen for a moment, then rushes to her, wrapping her in a wide embrace. They float there, in the light and dust, two bodies bound together. Nia pulls back. I don't understand. You followed me out here? She looks over at you, and then back to Femi. How'd you find me? You left without telling me. What'd you expect? Femi glares at her. You aren't ready for this. Nia retreats further at Femi's words, slipping out of his reach. Femi. Nia shakes her head. After all these years, you have no idea what I'm ready for. Movement in the light catches your eye. You see motion through the dust. A figure in a suit drifts out, paunched and clutching their abdomen. They turn to face Nia, and you see her lips moving as they speak on a private channel. You look over to Femi, but he's staring straight ahead, his eyes wide with anger. You! He points at the figure. What kind of idiot are you, dragging my sister out here in this place? That machine running riot? He moves towards the figure. Speak up! What were you thinking? Nia blocks his path forwards, getting between Femi and the figure. Femi, you meathead! She glares at her brother. This is my job. I brought them here. Femi, for once, falls silent. Femi, you done fucked up, boy. You done goofed. It takes a while to make the return trip back up through Cutter's End, especially with Nia's injured crewmate. As you ascend, Nia tells you the story of the job, Femi keeping his distance and leading the way in silence. The mining machine you'd faced was what she'd been looking to extract, a job she and Baird put together after meeting in the narrow escape. He knew a way to jumpstart the mine, and the access that would open up meant new salvage. One of those pre-collapsed boring machines was worth major cryo to any mining outfit in the belt, Baird had a contact who was ready to buy. It's going well until Harada here, Nia nods at the crumpled-looking cremate, hooked the mining machine up to the main line. Something went in its automation core, and it lost its shit. Plan was to barricade it, put together a shock trap to fry the core. Nia looks ahead at the back of Femi's suit, far ahead up the tunnel. But that's worthless now that my brother shredded the thing. Sorry about that. Don't be. If it hadn't worked, we'd have been ground into fine powder. Nia sighs. We're lucky you came. As you move through the facility, you notice most of it is dark now. The power from Baird's jumpstart fading away into nothing. Soon, this place will be a quiet ruin once more. Hey, Kayla, welcome on by. it's Dreki. That's Dreki. It's all there in the name. Dreki Warmer. Yep. I hope you're having a good evening. You ascend up through the quarry and out into the open space where Baird is waiting. Friend of yours? Baird shakes his head at Nia. Maybe you could have warned me they'd be coming. Not something I knew. She looks at Femi, who's broken off from the group and is heading for the rig. My brother doesn't tend to give anyone a warning. I'll take it from here. Baird puts an arm around Harada and guides them back to the ship. Look, mate. Baird turns to you. No hard feelings. Thanks for getting them out. Even if you did screw the job while you're at it. He grins a crooked grin. Guess that makes it square. Baird glides away towards his ship. I should ride back with them, but I'll see you in Flotsam. Nia gives you a warm smile. Thanks for helping my brother. I know he appreciates you, whatever he does or doesn't say. You watch her go and glide over to the rig as the last flickering lights of Cutter's End fade. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna end cycle. Because I want to break my dice. We push. Out. Back. End cycle. Out. Back. Push. End cycle. Okay, that's fine. Push and cycle. Ooh, onion rings. Onion rings are not like this! Always a good choice. The onion rings. All right, one more die. Oh, wait, it's guaranteed. That's right. Because of the glitch dice, it's impossible for me to... Shit. All right. Well, fuck.